Testing. One, two, three. Testing. One, two, three. Okay, hello, hello, oh, hello. Okay, there's a bit of a delay because I do everything on delay. There should be an age gate. This is a dry run because tomorrow I'm gonna start my series on, let's see, on basically YouTube of watching me do my comic books while throughout the day. Whoops, wrong keyboard. So I'm my own everything. Okay, so right now I'm sending the word out to the peoples of the world so they can have a chance to pop in. Oh, cool. It automatically tweets. Call this web series dry run. Okay. And this is going to be exactly that. It's going to be a daily web series, about 6 hours or so. And it'll link to a bunch of stuff because that's kind of how that was going to work. There might be music, there might be any number of things, and on the actual web series, I'll just talk about stuff, news and events of the day. I was a pop culture writer for quite some time, and so I'm kind of a jack of no trades, but I can talk about some, I guess, lack of a better term. But while I'm chit chatting about the issues that face of the day, news and whatnot, and just stuff that interests me, you're going to be seeing me work on a comic book. The current comic book I'm going to be working on is called Metro PD, short for Metro Police Department. And yeah, lately I've been kind of torn about drawing a book about super cops when lately I felt like cops haven't been so super. But it is what it is. My stories are all about idealism, an idealized fictional world that's not exactly perfect, but a different take on how things can be done. I guess one of my major influences on that level is Star Trek, because Star Trek is one of those idealized worlds where there's no war and no disease and famine. They kind of figure that out because they're supposed to be pretty awesome. I do have my mic on my head, and you'll find out how much I don't like that. But you can't beat the consistency of the audio quality. What you're looking at on the screen today is not my comic book. What it is a digital painting called Survivor at Dawn, and I started it a few weeks ago, and then haven't had a chance to get back to it in a while. I did a little bit of it last week in Tennessee, and now that I look at it, this isn't actually the most recent version. Some of the textures are missing, and I'm wondering if it's because the last time I saved, I turned off um, some of the data, but I don't think so. Something is totally missing here. Oh wait, turn up this opacity. Oh no, that's not it either. These are the phase 3 line drawings. They're gonna actually go away, but eventually. I'm not sure. I know I'm farther along than this. There's a lot of textures missing. I opened up the wrong file, it looks like, which is discouraging. Unless, let's see here. We'll just keep checking the levels and seeing where we missed out. Boy, that sucks. Unless I turned off some layers in here, and I don't think I did. So something is not quite right here. But that's okay. This is a dry run, really to test to make sure that when tomorrow comes, um, basically it's as seamless as possible. So I won't even be working on this tomorrow. You're gonna see probably one of the pages from Metro PD, um, a page of my choosing. Um, I just really wanted to kind of work out the kinks tonight. I wasn't supposed to get this monitor until Tuesday, but Amazon did me a solid and said, "Here, my bro, here, it's early. I sound like Bill Clinton, and I sent you via a mailman." And so she came, the mail lady actually, she came on yesterday or Friday, and I was like, "It's for me?" And she said, "Yeah, hurry up and take it from me. It's heavy." And I said, "Okay. Oh, let's see, layers, layers, layers." Um, so if I seem a little lost, it's for a lot of reasons. One is technically this is Photoshop, but not the Photoshop program that I did a lot of the stuff on. Uh, so I'm still sort of getting used to this particular setup because it's not exactly the same as the program this was done in. It took me like a bunch of time just to. Oh, oh, I know what I'm missing. I'm under something. There we go. That was the problem. And also this brush isn't my favorite. These are, oh, here we go. This brush is way better. Okay. And so basically, let's see. That looks a little better. So I have to reconfigure Photoshop tonight. This Photoshop version on my tower, which is technically the same Photoshop because I use Creative Cloud, but uh, love it or hate it, Photoshop doesn't just automatically carry over because you signed in to Creative Cloud. It doesn't just give me all my buttons and whatnot. It did offer me the chance though to throw in um, basically some of my library stuff from this particular painting, things that I ended up doing, in my library. So it gave me these three colors because these three colors aren't from a particular palette. They are from me slowly adjusting on the picker. So these are unique, technically unique colors. They're not. There's no number in the library for Photoshop. I kind of randomly picked these bad boys up, and because of that, it said, "Here, let's import these colors for you." And I was like, "Okay, that works." I think I might need to charge my pen a little bit. Also, this painting is getting pretty big. The actual size of the image is nothing to sneeze at. Um, for those of you out there who are well versed in Photoshop, you know that even though more recently it started to use more vector based stuff, technically speaking, Photoshop is great at getting smaller and not so great at getting bigger. So to use the program comfortably, you want to be bigger than you need to be because it's always so much easier to reduce as opposed to enlarge. With that being said, this image, let's see, this image right now is 30 inches wide and 18 inches high, which is bigger than the screen I'm on, which is 19 inches across. This is my new 19-inch screen, and it's badass. It's at 350 DPI, which, depending on who you talk to, is a lot or a little. I know people who have run at 600 DPI and had no issues at all, and other people who would hear that term and have a conniption. Because from what I gather, you really just don't need that higher DPI. Now, I personally feel like whatever you get to get pretty, you do it. So if you think it's easier and your work looks better at 600 DPI and your work is pretty and you like the way it looks, then by all means, player, do what you got to do. Me personally, I was taught in school that the high DPI is basically if you're going to print it out on paper. And this is a digital painting, which will go on DeviantArt, and hopefully someone will buy it from me. Hopefully, a lot of people will buy it from me because, it's a painting, and someone might say, hey, that painting is cool, and I can put it on my wall. And I like DeviantArt because they will, do the whole dealio for me. Not only will they let me put it on their site to sell, but they'll also let me sell it in a way that frames it in the whole 9 yards. Now, this is the other issue. This painting is probably my most detailed, labor-intensive painting to date. And that's not saying much because this is my second painting in total. My first painting is on DeviantArt, and it's called Arcane Warrior, and it's a female sorceress with a weapon in her hand. And I think at best, it's a sign of potential. Like, it ain't great, it ain't bad. No one's bought it. I don't blame the world for not buying it. It could be better. Is the prognosis as far as I'm concerned. So I'm hoping that this painting is exactly that. I hope it's better. Now, one thing is I put up my first painting on DeviantArt, and I had some people who thought it was cool, and I thought that was great. But I also happened to stumble upon another painter and saw her work and realized what good painting was. I was like, oh, okay, okay, that's what that looks like. That's what a good painting looks like. And then that's how I knew really that my painting wasn't all that great, because I saw what good looks like and mine didn't look good like that. And what it was the painting I made is, I guess for lack of a better term, technically sound, but it's flat. It's super flat. And this painting is still at this point super flat. It's just at the point of the painting where I'm still that flat. But the difference is I'm gonna not be flat forever, because the painting doesn't look like it yet because I'm not to that stage. But I'm gonna do some serious stuff in there that's gonna make it look really cool. A lot of the stuff you see in the picture now is actually going to be obscured, but it has to be back there for a lot of good reasons. So you can see that some of the line work is not as detailed as other parts, and so on and so forth. However, it'll all be worth it, because once I get to where I'm gonna start like making that final push towards how I want the painting to ultimately look, it'll be worth it. I want to use natural light, sunlight, and sunbeams. It's called Survivor at Dawn, and the idea is this character, this person here, who is actually he's the model. This is a 3D image. Well, at least the guy here, the main subject, is actually a 3D model, and I made this model in my design doll program. He's Jonathan, and he's a character from my fantasy novel. Now, this isn't Jonathan's costume at all. I changed all that when I decided to do the painting instead of the drawing. This pose is actually in another image that I'm going to be working on. I don't know when. My schedule and how I want to get stuff accomplished revolves a great deal around the people who helped me purchase this awesome monitor that I'm working on currently. And so the deal was, if you help me get the monitor, you get a free copy of Metro PD number one. So that is my highest priority, to do Metro PD issue number one. And I'm going to not only produce that book and make it available for free via my Facebook page, and it'll be free until there's content to replace it. But what I want to do is, it's hard to tell people that you don't really care about being successful in the terms of lots of money. But I honestly, I don't know. I just, rich people seem to have a really crappy life. I don't envy rich people. I think that they just are spending their entire life digging a huge pit, and then at the end they just dump themselves in it, and people are glad for it. And I'm like, okay, if it was worth it, then it was worth it. But to me, this seems like a waste of time and energy to do all that. I don't want to be Scrooge McDuck. And so, if no one ever bought, well, not no one, if I never made it super Bob Kane with my comic books, I'm super okay with that. Just maybe one day, 100 years from now, some kid will stumble across something I did and think it was cool. And I don't know where I'll be, probably a soulless robot taking over the universe. But at least I can look back at the planet I once destroyed and said, that kid lying in the rubble read my book before I vaporized the whole universe. I'm kidding, of course. I'm not really kidding at all. I'm going to take over the. It's funny. It's funny to talk about that kind of thing. I figure like there'll be like this placard in Canada where it says 3168. This is the place where we finally killed his head, and it says on the tombstone, we should have just gave that motherfucker Canada when he asked for it, you know. But all kidding aside, basically, um, the books will be either free or as close to free as I can get, so you won't have to. I don't want to ask people to spend a bunch of money for my stuff. I just don't. So even my crappy novel is like $5 on Amazon, and you can get it digitally for like 99 cents. And it's not about making any money. It's just about having to put a price on it in general. And it seems like the cheaper I make stuff, the more insulted people are to consider buying it, which is what it is. All right, I'm going to try something here. I'm going to lighten this up, and then I'm going to add a layer because I kind of want to get a bigger tone here. And I don't like how this is coming along. Now, the one thing about this monitor that is interesting, I guess, is that it's on this sort of stand, and the stand won't necessarily stay still. Now, that is not as bad an issue as it might seem because I don't want to push. I don't want to shove it around. I don't want to, be too hard on it. So, uh, I don't mind so much that it does that. But at the same time, I do need a little bit more resistance. I just do. So what I'm probably gonna do is find something I can stick to my desk, so I don't want to alter the stand. I want to alter the desk. I want to put a little stuff on the desk so it'll like hit a little, like those things you put under airplanes, like a little wedge. I got some Scotch tape back there, but it doesn't have much for it. And like I said, I don't want to permanently alter the deal. Now, the thing about painting is, well, give me that, is you don't like some of it when you get up close and you back out and it's not as bad. But with Photoshop, you can just keep going back and keep going back until you get it right. The cost of that, of course, is having to purge your history a lot because you notice whenever I enlarge or reduce, you see a different picture for a second. That's basically the history. Um, it can't be avoided in a lot of cases, and so we're coming back at it now. Like I said, this is actually a version of the drawing that is not the most recent. I'm gonna have to go in there and find it, but the pants and the tunic, this area here, if you see my cursor, are far more developed than what you see here, which is fine. That kind of thing happens sometimes. So is the cape. Actually, this is Survivor at Dawn day 3, I think. I'm on day 5. So, but it's cool. It's cool. Like, I'll show you something. We'll fast forward in the future later. That's the Biggie Smalls thing. It's one of my favorite lines. I'll meet you in the future later. Okay, so I'm gonna do this. Ooh, and oh my God, what did I do? I covered everything in black. How could I? How could I do that, right? And then I'm just gonna, and then okay, and so like just to, I'm gonna do things like that. I'm just gonna cover it in black, right? And then do this. Whoops, get away from there. Can we give me that back? All right, and then here's my fill. I'm gonna make it like this, and then it'll be a little darker, and from there I'll turn my eraser on, and then lower the opacity by about 46, and then go to my brush presets and pick this cloudy looking thing, or even something like uh, like this, and then I'll make it really big and just boom, 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 super big, like 125, and then I'll just go like that, that sort of thing is going to go down, and it's going to be a lot different than this. This is just an example because I'm only going to do this live stream for a little bit of time. I have it playing in the living room on the television to see how well the audio and stuff works, and then I'm gonna have a look at it because I've been working on these videos for a few weeks now in preparation for tomorrow. And the issue's always been my audio levels are always inconsistent. One video sounds okay, the next video you don't hear me at all, and it's just making sure the settings are always proper. And I just want to get that nailed down because it's just me. I don't have an engineer. I don't have, any of that stuff going on. And so I'm a little disappointed at the slowdown because I thought it was my Fujitsu tablet's processing power that was struggling, but it just might be this how big this file is. And truth be told, with a painting, that's not the end of the world because what I'm guessing is that I can probably flatten at some point, and that'll make everything just one solid piece of data, and then just build on that. And I'm confident I can do that simply because I'll keep the PSD file with all the layers. And like you notice the face has a ton of detail, right? There's a lot of detail in the face. It's a line drawing. That's intentional. I wanted to make sure that face, you could really see that. And then later on, way later on in the process, I might get rid of some of these details. The face won't be so comic booky. It'll be more like the ear or like sorry, I'm touching it, like the ear here and so on and so forth. But this is going to come at the end. Getting the face cleaned up is going to come at the very, very end. And that's Jonathan. That's the king in the first half of the book. Uh-oh, spoiler alert. He's the king in the first half of the book. He gets Game of Thrones somewhere in the middle. Yeah, the book is not that good, but the comic book version, which you can see I'm working on, is going to be better, I guess. And I'm gonna be able to. Let's see, where was I? This is the face. How come the thing went away? Oh, there it is. Face went away. Okay, so yeah, what was the layer I was working on? Did I do all that to one layer? I did. I did do all that to one layer. So I'm back at square one. No, no, no. Wherever I was working, it's here. Okay, here I am. Okay. So yeah. Now, in case you hadn't noticed, I'm not exactly explaining a play-by-play of what I'm doing. I don't think people tuning into this are tuning in to learn lessons on Photoshop from me. It's I'm hoping people are just kind of interested in the same thing. Like I would be interested in watching someone kind of do all this while they did it. And so I'm hoping to meet to gather together like-minded bros and so's. There's no feminine like rhyming term for bros that's not derogatory, is there? I just realized that. You can't I can't do that. Like, bros and then not bros, and then maybe what we should start considering is maybe we should consider bro to be completely 100% derogatory. Oftentimes when I hear people say it, it doesn't make me feel swell. I mean, I feel like when someone calls me bro who doesn't know me, they're saying it like I don't know who you are, and so I'm calling you bro because I really just don't give a shit who you are. Like that's kind of it. It never seems all that terribly endearing. It just doesn't. So maybe it's not supposed to because there is no female equivalent that's cool. Maybe that's what the deal is. Okay. And so right now I'm just kind of creating a little texture. Again, this was technically already done, and I had a ton of other brushes to do this with. As a matter of fact, this is my pencils. Let's see if we can go to where are you painting. Let's see what it gives us. Let's see what it gives us. Give me my brushes back. Did it give me my brushes back? It probably didn't. And I think it might be time to recharge the pen. No, it didn't give me the. Oh, maybe it. I can't tell. Let's see here. It did not. All right. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna reset the. No. Yes. Ooh. See, the thing is, I don't want all the brushes from my other stuff, and it looks like I can't like switch to penciling and have my pencil brushes. It's either all or nothing. So, ay, let's try wet media brushes, append, so that I don't lose it. And okay, yeah, okay, we'll look at these. We'll use some of these. Okay, and then all right, I'll leave this thing alone on the side. It's just, man, this monitor is so awesome to me because it gives me so much space. I'm telling you, it's amazing. Okay. Oh, I lost my navigator. I need to have that back. The navigator is my replacement for hotkey usage. And then this is just, oh man, get this. Can I make this smaller? I can't make it smaller. I don't like that. That's not cool. All right, well, we're just gonna deal with it. We're just gonna deal with it. There's only one thing you can do. Deal with it. I don't like this one. It looks like it messes me up more than it helps. Where am I just? Where? Oh, what the heck? What am I looking for? Oh, I need my colors. I don't like the swatches. I want the picker. That's not it. And that's not it. Ah, okay. Screw that. Oh no, we're gonna channels. No, paths. No. Where's my color? Okay, view. Here we go. You're gonna learn some basic Photoshop then. Okay, here we go. Where color should be there under painting. You'd assume, but no. Okay, you come with me. And you put this up here with you. There you go. And you come with me. Because swatches can be helpful as starters. But truth be told, to me, this thing here, right, is supposed to be like that thing in the classic painter's hand where he mixes his paint. But get the fuck out of here with that. You know why? I always look at it like this. The painting masters, the Michelangelos, the da-da-da-da-das, and all those guys, the Raphaels and the Gauguins, and you name it, right? If they had an infinite color well to make their own colors, they probably would never have that weird board in their hand with the colors they mixed. If they had a color picker, they would never use this. They would only use this because this is the idea. Like I always, sorry, just certain things kind of bug the crap out of me when it comes to what we assume the rules of painting are, because it looks to me like they picked it because that was what they had at the time, and there's still something missing. Now I don't see my, oh shit, oh, it's over here. Oh, yeah, Photoshop, Adobe, jerks. I don't know if the guy who made it Photoshop was left-handed or something, but I never quite could understand why that had to be over on the left. I'm right-handed. I'm right-handed. I'm right-handed. I'm telling you now. And this, see, now it's all messed up. So you know what? Forget it. I'm going back to essentials. And there we go. And I'll just put this back over here and just suffer in silence. Yeah, I'm a righty. Why is it on the left-hand side? Just, oh. So here we go. We got this, and we're going to get a little bit of that. All right, and then here's our colors. No, that's right. Oh, see? That makes more sense. The symbol is right. This to me is more like that than that thing is. So I complain for nothing. But the problem is, I feel like this could be big. Oh, gosh, man. I got to get darker than that. I want to get darker than that. Let's see if we can do that. And then get our brush back. I do use hotkeys, but sometimes I just like the idea of using the pen like a brush in all the ways you can imagine. It's a little bit thick for me. Let's make it a little smaller. Now we're gonna zoom in. See, like in the zoom key, I don't want there to be a zoom key. Just let me come over here and poke it. There we go. And now see, I'm gonna have to smooth this out. I'm gonna have to smooth this bad boy out. It's still a little thick. Still a little thick for me. All right, so let's see here. Okay. So you can see there's supposed to be like little hairs here, and I'm kind of using this brush to simulate the idea that there's hairs, but already that's going to be a little problematic. I think what I'm going to have to do is use the brush and create a sense of like bunched up hairs, because this is like his boar skin, whatever it is. And he and his men have been defending this castle all night long through a siege, and he's the last guy standing. And he survived the dreaded night, and now he stands in front of the guys coming to take the castle. So this guy, well, it's a painting, but it looks like he's gonna die. He's not gonna make it. But you can always look at the painting and decide for yourself if this is what you see right before the rescue. And the rescue is only worthwhile because he managed to stay throughout the night. Now you can also look at it and say that only those guys around him had lost their lives. There are many others who still fight on. Like, once we look at it, I didn't want the painting to be so busy that you miss the point, I guess. And see, there's a bit of abstraction to even the most literal painting because it is a snapshot. It is a moment in time frozen that doesn't always portray what's going to happen next or what happened before. Unlike police videos that show cops beating the dog shit out of people or shooting them down in the street, and then some asshole says, well, you didn't know what happened to lead up to that. And I'm pretty sure what didn't happen was that cop getting shot at. What didn't happen was that cop getting punched and kicked. What did happen was that cop watched Lethal Weapon and thought how cool it was for Murtaugh to shoot down gang members 6 at a time and then feel kind of bad about it later. But since he's a hero, it's okay. And so we wonder now why cops see people in the street and immediately start pulling the trigger on their guns, and then they feel bad about it later, and then we tell them it's okay. That's kind of how that works for me. That's that bullshit is what I call it. That's that Fox News bullshit. So yeah, that'll be on my podcast. Just sudden outrage at current events while I'm drawing comic books and shit. I'm gonna talk about sports because I'm a big sports guy. I'm a different kind of nerd, man. I really am. And so I make friends wherever I go, talking about that bullshit. See, I believe that there's no such thing as a non-worthwhile conversation. There's no subject that is too sophomoric or simple or unimportant that it's not worth serious consideration because, truth be told, there's very few conversations you're going to have in your life where you truly decide anything. You can have as many political discussions as you want. You're never going to change policy unless your name is Mr. or Mrs. Senator. And even then, the odds are slim. So what's the point of any conversation? How do you decide that a certain subject is worth more consideration than others? Every single conversation is simply practice. It's practice for when it does actually matter. And I think that I'm oftentimes a bit more skillful than the guy next to me in terms of getting my point across because I take every conversation seriously. So if you're talking about whether or not Batman would beat up some other costumed hero in a fight, I'll have that conversation with you. I think it's stupid, but I'll have it with you. And I'll have it with you with the same amount of intensity that I'll talk about police violence because it's all practice for when it matters the most. And most people waste their opportunities to have those conversations. They waste it trying to win some kind of silly argument, or win any argument. There's not an argument you can have in your regular life that's actually winnable. Because to say you want an argument is to be able to decide that what you're saying is true or right, despite the fact that we don't know how any of this ends or how any of this began. And we don't know why we're here and what it's all about. The end of the equation is not known to us, so we can decide nothing truly. You know what I mean? Like, we can sit here and talk about whether one course of action is right going forward based on what we know of the past, but we don't know the future. So to say that, well, 50% of the people think this is the right course of action, this is the proper thing to do, that's great. But those 50% could all be wrong, and we'll never know. Not until after we're long dead, you know? So because of that, I take the pressure off of myself. I don't worry so much about whether or not I'm right or whether or not I've won a conversation or an argument. The idea is to understand. I feel like the person understands my point of view, and that even if they don't agree, even if they don't do anything different, the next time they have that conversation, they take a second and think about what they did the last time, then that's the point. Because you're supposed to learn from everything, from everyone. And the idea is understanding that no matter how much more educated you are or credentialed you are, you learn from every interaction, whether it's the postman or the preacher or the idiot on your Facebook page who keeps talking shit to you. Every opportunity you have to discuss something with anyone, you gotta play it out. You gotta play it out. And so yeah, that's what my page will be about. That's what my chat will be like every day. Just a bunch analyzing and over analyzing and everything in between. I want another I want another type of brush for this. Oh, okay. That's cool. Give me that. All right, now see what I got with all these brushes. That fan brush doesn't. I don't like that. I don't know, man. I don't know. Let's see what we got. Let's see how this looks. Huh? All right. Well, we'll just get another. Here we go. We'll just darken this doorstep a little bit. Oh my. Oh, I'm still here in my little room with a little bit of sound blockage, but my mom is out there doing the thing. Yeah, I live with my mom right now. I just moved to Georgia, and I'm looking to get my own place, but I just moved out here, and I'm making sure everything is sort of set up properly before I strike out on my own. So I'm hoping that with between this and Patreon and a couple other ideas, I can make a little money doing this, but I don't count on it. So I'm looking for a regular 9 to 5, something that I can, do during the day or at night, and then find the time to do this, which is dangerous because I've always made that deal with myself. I'll find a regular job, and then I'll just figure out how to fit in the time to continue my art goals, and it never works in my favor. It's always one sacrificing for the other. And you can guess, since rent is high for a lot of people and the bills are due for a lot of people, which one wins out more often than not. Am I? No, I don't like this brush. This brush don't seem to do much for me. I can't even see it. What is this? Let's try this one. Oh, this is way huge. Oh, that's way huge. Okay. Okay. So, yeah. Patreon people, I want them to see my artwork. I want them to see the work I'm doing. I want them to like it and say, okay, he's putting these books out. I'm going to help him fund these books. And then he can just focus on his art. But see, I've been holding off on that kind of thing until I was set to create more content. I wanted people to see my work live and in person. And so now, now I'm ready to put myself out there, my work out there on a site like Patreon, where people can see it, tune in and watch me on YouTube, literally getting it in 6 hours a day, maybe more, depending on how it goes, and say this is a wise investment or a sound investment because we see this guy every day like clockwork, not only using his skills as an artist, but all the things he accumulated over the years as a pop culture journalist, a college debater, and everything in between, and all around jerky kind of douchebag. I mean, I'm not really a jerky kind of douchebag, but I'm the model of imperfection, to say the least. You know, so yeah. So here we go. I like this. The guy who taught me how to do this used to do the special effects for he did the special effects and the art stuff for Donnie Darko, and he also did all the computer animation and stuff for Tool, their videos. So yeah, that's who taught me how to do a lot of this stuff. And the only reason I hesitate to say his name is because I don't know that I'm doing all that great of a service. Like if this is really really shitty, then I shouldn't be telling people who taught me how to do it. He's like, thanks Dante, that really helped. Now people are dropping out of my classes because they're like, this idiot on YouTube is up there blowing it, screwing the pooch, and telling everybody it's my damn fault. Yeah, so if I get some good marks and people say that's cool, then I'll tell you who taught me how to do it. But you might be able to look it up on Google and see who I'm talking about. But he's awesome, and he's a really good artist, and of course, he's a really good artist, an excellent teacher. And it's really hard to be both those things. It really is. It's hard. I have so much respect for art teachers because to me, the better you are at it, the more innate your talent is, the harder it is to convey that idea of what you're doing so perfectly or so good is to someone else. It's so hard to make someone else understand what's coming to you a lot of times naturally. So you see great craftsmen who make great teachers because they understand the technique. But great creators sometimes you can't explain that process that just comes to you. It's like breathing. Like how do you explain breathing to someone? Well, because to me if I look over at you and you don't know how to breathe, I don't know how to help you. If you can't figure out the basics, you know what I mean? And to me, creating characters, and I've created a lot of characters. You're gonna see them hopefully, as these books come out. Metro PD is the first of many books. The project is a total of 72 books, and because it's six, maybe more than 72. Ultimately, it will be more if I can maintain my existence as an artist long enough that it'll be more than 72. But basically, it's about a 6 book story. And when I say 6 books, I mean basically book one is 12 30-page issues. So that's Metro P, 12 issues a year. And the story is set in a fictional April 14th, 1985, which has some significance to me as a comic book reader because that is the year or the month and the year, not the day that the first issue of Crisis on Infinite Earths came out. Like that was the day in the story. And Crisis on Infinite Earths is the greatest story comic books ever told. Yeah, I said it. You have to accept it as true. That's just how it is. You can be mad all you want. You can be mad till you blue in the face. I don't care. That's the truth. Crisis on Infinite Earths is the greatest comic book story ever told. You can tell your friends. Okay. So I feel like it's weird because this is sort of what I had accomplished and I guess apparently don't have anymore. But literally, this is wow. It's like looking back 4 weeks ago to when I got this far, saved and stopped. So that blows a little bit, to be quite honest. And I'm looking at my feed, my live feed on YouTube, and it looks like I'm a little darker on YouTube than on my screen, which is nice that I can see it like that. I'm gonna pause here and save one. Save. And I'm gonna pop out of the room. I'm gonna scroll down. I got 2 people watching, which is probably me and me, which is okay. But yeah, I keep doing these, and they keep coming out okay. Then maybe we'll see. But I'm gonna pop out the room and look at the television and see how it's looking. I'm on a delay thanks to Twitch, which is nice. Not Twitch, I'm sorry. XSplit is my delay. That's the recording software. So give me a second. I'll be with you in a second. Okay, so it looks like um, the delay is there, so you'll catch up with me in a second. I'm in the future later. It looks like that the image you see as my holder, if you notice, looks eerily similar to the one I was saying. So that's actually the image you see as my placeholder is the fifth day, like the most up to date version of the work. And in case you didn't notice, the cape and stuff is all the capes are all defined and detailed. So I gotta find my progress, even though I'm happy to do this at this pace and to go back and start again, but it just bugs me that I can't find it, and it really means that my housekeeping in terms of my computer is not as good as I'd like it to be, even though I don't think it's terrible. I used to help people in voice over internet protocol. I used to be a VoIP specialist, and I used to have to look on their computer screens remotely and help them basically do their settings for their network for our products to work properly, that kind of thing. And I would always say, okay, I may have to walk you through this over the phone so that you can get your settings all straight. So what I'm going to tell you to do is and I'll have them do a list of things, a list of settings changes and downloads. And sometimes we have to download firmware. And so it would give me an opportunity to help them out on like a little above and beyond sort of thing. And it's always think about your desktop as it is labeled. It is a desktop. And what do you keep on your desktop? The stuff you need to use all the time, or the things you are currently working on, right? So if you are on the computer and you are downloading files and whatnot, where do you want those files to automatically download? To your desktop, because that's where you're working. That's whatever you're doing, that's where it is. So all of your files that when you're on YouTube or Google or whatever you're doing, and you're downloading an image or a file you're going to use for a download or something, anything, a setup file, put it on your desktop. Set the automatic location not to that downloads folder. Put it on your desktop because you want to be able to find it. You want to be able to be working, answer the phone, get up, go do that, and come back and go, oh, it's right here. I put it on my desk. Because that's where you're working right now, right? So use that, and it helps you organize. And then once you're done working, move it from your desktop, because your desktop is storage. It's a file. It's a drive, basically. Just call it a desktop so you can kind of utilize it the way they envisioned, you know. Um, some of my older videos, I will tell you, it says on there, if you see me doing something and you're like, that is not the way you're supposed to be doing that, don't be shy. I mean, seriously, I want to hear that. I want to hear you tell me that that's not the way you should do it. There's another way to do it, or a better way to do it. And the stronger you feel about it, the more I want you to tell me. Now, if you need to take a deep breath and tell me in a way that would not elicit face punching if you told me in person, then I strongly suggest that as well. Like, take a moment, take a breath, and realize what your intentions are and what your desires are, which is to get me to listen to you, and then, break down what I'm doing wrong. But if you start off a post with "you idiot" because I'm doing something in Photoshop you don't like, that'll get you face punched in real life. Like that. I think is not so good. I forgot how I gotta turn my brush. I gotta get that thing. I think it's down here. This thing down here. Oh, where are you? Oh, now you don't want to be there. Oh, there it is. Now this. Come here. Come here, you. That is that little brush thing, so I can turn the brush. I don't know how to do it without it. Something. Oh gosh. Where are you? Is it here? That's new. What is that? Oh, snap. Oh, oh, gosh, dude. Where have you been all my life? I love you forever. Or wait, did it just turn the brush too, though? Son of a. Wait, no, it didn't. No, it didn't. No, it kind of. I'm not sure now. But I forgot what is the hotkey for that bad boy. Oh, it's rotate R. R. Oh, 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 God. Oh, oh. Let's see here. Brush. Oh. This is. Oh yeah. That was. Yeah. Okay. Okay. That was great. That was beautiful. I like that. I like that a lot. So what we're gonna do though is we're gonna make this brush a little smaller. Okay. Okay. That's right. That's right. And then we're gonna get a little darker here for the crevasses. Here we go. And then that was tasty. That was oh man. Oh, hold on. You need to be alone with the sandwich for a minute. Oh god. Oh yeah. The thing about painting too, I like is I don't have to be like prim and proper. I don't have to worry about the lines. I'm painting. Like I can get messy. I'm gonna paint again and again and keep messing with it, and it'll be done when I say it's done. You know, and I'm not on a deadline for this painting. And it's just I like it to be done at some point in the future so that I can like show people when it's done. You know, I don't put finished work on anything. Like I don't put finished work on any DeviantArt unless it's a painting. I have one painting, and the thing about that, and what made me go back to that rule even harder is I thought that painting was finished when I posted it and realized that in truth it wasn't. It wasn't finished. You know, I could do that painting better. Now I'm not gonna do that particular painting better because I kind of want it to be there as an example to myself of what not being finished will cost you. You know, a reminder like that $2 bill that people put behind their wall, the first dollar they made. Well, that's the first painting I blew. You know, and so I don't plan on going back to that painting again. Now I'm gonna try something in a second to try and make my digital art teacher proud. I want to start getting in some other colors here because I'm making this brown glove, you know. But remember, he's been fighting. He's been fighting all night. He's been fighting all night. Hand tool. Oh snap! Brush. Oh my gosh. You have no idea. That just oh my goodness. I don't know where oh, I'm on essentials. No wonder. This is so I was using Creative Cloud on my Fujitsu tablet and I don't always update like I'm supposed to. And so I don't think I have the most recent update for the Fujitsu tablet where that little bad boy would have just been obviously there. Plus, I've had my own custom workstation for who knows how long. So I had never seen that thing ever until today. You know, literally never seen it. But you know what? Now that we saw it, now that we know that it's there, now that we know it's there, come on, player. What we're gonna do is we're gonna be a little gross here. I'm gonna start setting up the detail for the blood. Okay, so let's get a new layer for this. Let's just give me another layer. Let's put it up here. And we won't label this layer. This image might be throwaway anyway because I don't like the fact that I don't have my let's see, red. Let's go here. Let's go here, right? Okay, and then we're gonna go back to our layer and I'm gonna reduce the fill so that I can get an idea of what I'm doing. Okay. And now I need a brush for this that I like. I need another brush, something that's gonna give me the I don't you know blood splatters, blood sprays. What is this one? Let's see what we get with this one. Now, how big is our? Okay. Oh boy, that's little. All right, let's see. Oh, sorry, no. Okay, now let's say we're putting a little blood on there. We're just gonna put a little blood on there. And the other thing is, I'm not a painter. I don't have the skill set necessarily to do this on another medium. I couldn't break out a canvas and some whatever you call it and um, get some pastels and make it right for myself. I just don't have the ability to do that quite yet. It's a skill I haven't learned. I don't think I'm not saying that I can't do it. If I took a class on it and learned it, really learned it, I'd probably be okay at it, I guess. But at this point, I can digitally paint because technically it's like super paint cheating. Okay. Oh, look at that. See, I don't know how that looks quite yet, but it's just the first couple of layers. And come on, baby. There you go. Okay. Wait. Oh, there it is. Look at that. Oh, it's so beautiful. Okay. Not the picture, just the technology is wonderful and amazing. All right, so that's a little red, but I'm gonna actually do this and get a little darker in there, and then we're gonna do a little dark flecks here and there. Okay, get a little dark in there, and then we're gonna get dark in the creases, so to show the texture of the stuff, of the glove and stuff affecting the red. So they'll get a little darker in there and in there, darker in there. And remember though, that while this looks like this now, we are not actually at the right fill. So now that we did all that, let's look at this layer and bring our fill back up to 100 and see what we get. Now that's a little more crisp. So let's back out and take a far out look. Okay. Okay. I wonder how I can reset this fit screen. Can I reset I don't know. Rotate all windows. Reset view. Perfect. Okay. Nice. I am gonna have to blend and blur the crap out of that. It's a little too sitting on top for my taste right now. Also, I'm probably gonna go back and do something like this and just, come on, come on. Okay. Yeah, I don't want it to be so. He's not currently bleeding, and that kind of looks a little better. Um, just I don't know. That kind of worked out. That's actually not what I was talking about doing though. But let's do that. Let's do that. Oh boy. Let's do this layer here and go up one more. Give me a layer here. And then I want to pull a color from here, right? And then we'll take the fill down for a while to just play with it. And now let's go look at a brush, which is here. And okay, that's fine. Okay, and I would like to talk to you about the cursing in your. Let's see, this might do it. Now you go away, and we're gonna zoom, and we're gonna zoom, and we're zooming, and we're zooming. I want to use that R tool again. I have no reason to use it though. Okay. Okay. Now you see when we're getting close, I don't actually like any of that. I mean, I don't hate it, but I do. I'm eventually gonna go in there and kind of like sponge that bad boy down. Like it works for the tunic, 'cause it's supposed to be some kind of bear pelt, but for the pants, it doesn't work for me up close. And I don't know if that's going to translate when you actually look at when it's a painting in someone's house and they look close. What is that detail going to look like? I'm probably going to have to buy my own copy just to have a look and see what the dealio is. Okay, so that's not enough stick. Need some lumber for this. There we go. So now I want to just there you go. Yeah. Just because there's a little bit of purple in the cape. I want to represent some of that purple on the pants. And just a little bit here and there. Just following. Okay, now let's see. Okay, so right now our brush is perpendicular or vertical to the whole thing. So let's see if the brush stays where it is when I move this. So is my brush gonna still be up and down? It is. Oh Lord. Oh, oh, oh yeah. Oh, ha, ha, ha. Mm. That is nice. That is nice. All right, let's just put a little bit more of it over here. Yeah, get a little darker there. Okay, now we're gonna go back over here and reset the view. Then we're gonna back out, and as you'll see, you're really. I mean, okay, this is. Let's see here. This is fit screen. So you see, it's supposed to be faint, and we'll put a few more colors in there. Well, here, let's sample. Let's see. We'll sample some of this blood here. There we go. And we'll go back and we'll leave the layer on. No, we're not actually, because I want a different opacity for this blood sample. So we're gonna move this out the way, and we'll give me one more layer, and then we're gonna reduce the opacity on this to about like a 55. And then we're gonna get in here and we're gonna go down really low, and we're gonna go wild with the blood, you know. And so we're just gonna can't even see it, but that's fine because I'm gonna build it up over here. See, ooh, starting to show up over here a little bit more. Build a little bit up over here. Okay, and now that I think about it, we're also missing something else. Okay, so now let's raise the opacity and see what we put down there. Okay, and that's a little bit of blood, right? Now what I'm gonna do is that's a lot, and like over here I have it. Here we go. I want it to be actually more pooled in certain spaces. You know, okay. So now that's a little too high, right, on the opacity level. So we're gonna bring it down a little bit to here. And so another faint amount of blood, but we also need some dirt. So let's just grab a brown. Let's just grab a brown from here. All right, and then we're gonna go here to the color picker, and we're actually gonna move this. I want some better clay type dirt. There we go. I like that. Okay, and now we're gonna change brushes as well. Let's let's try this bad boy. All right, okay. But we're on the same layer with the same opacity. Oh, that's big. And let's try, he would be sitting a lot, so let's, actually, you know what? I don't want strokes for this. I want something like this. Give me this. Uh-huh, there we go. Okay, now we're gonna, let's get the opacity and let's turn the fill down a little bit too. There we go. And turn the opacity down a little bit. And then also, let's make our brush a little smaller. And I think the dirt is going to be an issue because I think I have too high. I may have to lower the opacity overall because I got too much dirt. Let's try another brush. Usually I keep these two things together, but I'm kind of, let's try one. Uh-huh. And now we make it a little smaller. It just, ooh, it showed up so strong there. It's just a lot of, too much brown. Okay. What I'll do is I'll erase some of it or something. We'll play with it. All right, so let's go back to our layers and see if we can't get this to, okay. Because it's supposed to be faint. It's not supposed to be so apparent. Okay, so. And to be honest, and this is a teacher would probably say the same thing, how I'm doing this is a bit of a cheap trick. I'm using the opacity and the fill to save myself the effort of finding colors and brushes to get these effects through strokes. Like I'm using the opacity to kind of, well, speed through some of this stuff. And that is true. Okay, because at the end of the day, I want the effect. I don't need to know. I don't need to necessarily show my work. This is an algebra class. You know what I mean? That's how I feel, to be honest. Okay, so, okay, that's, okay. So, again, I don't know that that's great. I don't know for sure. I'm gonna look and see how you see it. And I'm not even sure if it's even coming out good the way you're seeing it there. But I'm gonna, hopefully that'll work out. I'm gonna watch this video later and see if I learned a thing or two or not. But Yeah, my screen is a little bit of a glare. I think I'm going to put something on there for it, so I'm getting a proper indication of my color quality. But yeah, 9:36. So we've been doing this for a little bit. Not quite sure how long. How long has this been going on? Oh, I'm live. It just says you're live. 53. Whoa. 33. 9. Okay, so wait, I'm over an hour. Okay, cool. I'm at an hour. Just over an hour. Okay. Okay, so tomorrow I'm gonna start probably about 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time to catch the people in the AM. I'll be on YouTube, so if you're at work or whatever, you can check it out. Um, I need to do some more tweaking and all that stuff. This probably won't go on DeviantArt because it's not the painting. It's all test footage, you know. So tomorrow we'll start in earnest with Metro PD development number one and all that stuff, and you'll see Metro PD getting made as I work throughout the day. I'm gonna plug in this here pin, make sure it's nice and juiced up, and then I'll see you tomorrow. Thanks for stopping by and tuning in and all that good stuff. See, there it is, day 5. And I don't know if you can see my mouse pad or whatever, probably not. But you can hear my voice still, and you can see the cape. Look at the capes, look at the boots. You can see that I'd gotten a lot farther along than what we just did today. But, tis is what it is. Um, yeah. But yeah, it is what it is. It is what it is. All right, folks. Take care.